বেঙ্গল গ্লোবাল বিজনেস সামিটে মুখ্যমন্ত্রী মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায় আজই এই বিজনেস সামিটের শেষ দিন। বাণিজ্য সম্মেলনের শেষ দিনে আরও বেশি লগ্নির আশায় নবান্ন। বাণিজ্য সম্মেলনের দ্বিতীয় দিনে প্রথমার্ধে এমএসএমই নিয়ে আলোচনা এবং দ্বিতীয়ার্ধে স্বাক্ষরিত মোবের ঘোষণা হবে বলে জানা যাচ্ছে। বাণিজ্য সম্মেলনের আজকে দ্বিতীয় তথা শেষ দিন। গতকাল থেকে শুরু হচ্ছে। গত 7টি বিজনেস সামিটে 90.51 লক্ষ কোটি টাকা হয়েছে বলে দাবি। বাণিজ্য সম্মেলনের দ্বিতীয় দিনে প্রথমার্ধে এমএসএমই নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে। তৃতীয়ার্ধে যে সমস্ত মৌ স্বাক্ষরিত হয়েছে সেগুলোর ঘোষণা করা হতে পারে বলে মনে করা হচ্ছে। সেগুলো ঘোষণা হবে। শেষ দিনে আরও বেশি লগ্নির আশা করছে নবান্ন। বিশ্ববঙ্গ বাণিজ্য সম্মেলন আজকে শেষ দিন। সত্যসুন্দর ভট্টাচার্য রয়েছেন আমার সঙ্গে। সত্য, আজকে কোন ইতিমধ্যে আমরা জানি যে এমএসএমই নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে। আসবো তোমার কাছে, একটু থাকো আমাদের সঙ্গে।
We are at the penultimate point of this amazing event. You all heard Honorable Chief Minister yesterday. You heard the dignitaries. You heard the ambassadors. The international session was a huge success. And today you had 16 sectoral meetings. Wonderful interactions, as we have come to know. Without any further ado, we have a structure suggested by Honorable Chief Minister that all committees be co-chaired from the business. So there's a principal secretary or additional chief secretary, and co-chair is a person from business. So business drives makes it clear to us, and we move together hand in hand. So therefore, we will start Mr. Dev is a minister coming up on the dais. Shottambabu, Vice Chancellor, Chancellor of Universities, coming up on the dais. Well, friends, we'll go straight to the co-chairs from the industry who drive this government. May I request Mr. Mehul Mohanka, Managing Director, Tega Industries, and co-chair of the manufacturing industries. He has units not only in Bengal as the mother unit, but in South Africa, in Australia, in Chile, making mining machinery and etc. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Chief Minister, Ms. Banerjee, Dr. Mitra, Chief Secretary, Mr. Pant, dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. It's an extreme pleasure and an honor to be here speaking in front of you. I represent the co-chair of the manufacturing sector. And before I get into the significant achievements of the sector through this morning, I'd like to highlight a few of the achievements of the manufacturing sector under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister. So MSME sector constitutes the backbone of the state's economy. Over our Honorable Chief Minister's leadership, we've been able to grow that to about 90 lakh vendors, generating about 136 lakh employment in the state. In 23-24 alone, around 81% of our state's GSDP comes from the industry and services sector. State's index of industrial population for manufacturing is higher than the national average. Highest number of female-owned proprietary enterprises in India, over 29 lakhs as it stands as of today. The largest share in India, close to about 16.18%, is unincorporated manufacturing enterprises. We generate maximum employment with 13.66% in the unincorporated manufacturing sector. And we have today in our state more than 600 clusters. That's over a 13 times growth since 2011, representing 200 CFCs. Unprecedented growth in the bank lending in MSMEs, almost an 18 times growth over 2011. Single largest handloom hub with 6.3 lakh weavers and allied workers has been achieved during Madam Chief Minister's tenure. Leader in the country in overall sari production, it's over 35% of the national market share. Second largest share in India in production of towels, napkins, dusters, and production of surgical bandages and other materials. West Bengal leads the country in the production of cotton kids wear. 75 government-owned industrial and commercial parks for MSMEs. 40 government-aided private industrial parks under the innovative scheme of the state government. 3 integrated textile parks and dedicated silk parks. A 10-fold increase in power loom units in the last few years. Around 1,500 modern shuttless power loom units have been set up, producing 13 crore meters of fabric. We are home to the largest foundry park, almost close to 600 acres, and hosiery park, about 125 acres. Largest leather complex at Bantala, about 1,150 acres, and multiple infrastructure projects which have been completed and ongoing. We have the largest garment cluster in Metro Bruce. Nearly 5 lakh people are employed there. Around 6 lakh handicraft artisans, competitive schemes for manufacturing, MSME textile units, artisans and weavers, and GI certified MSME products, almost 20 out of the 28. Madam, this morning we had 3 sessions which were conducted on the broad head of the manufacturing industries. That's MSME in textiles, engineering, plastics and chemicals, and defense manufacturing, which covered all the major sectors in the state. We had a session specifically on MSME and textiles, a session on engineering, plastics and chemicals, and for the first time, we attempted to have a session on defense manufacturing, which was very well received. The outcome of these sessions are as follows. A total of 7 MOUs have been signed between MSME Directorate and NSIC, between MSME Directorate and India Post to provide logistics, packaging and shipping, between West Bengal Export Promotion Society and Export Promotion Council for handicrafts, and between the West Bengal Export Promotion Society and Vodafone for empowering MSMEs on digital literacy, between Bishwa Bangla Marketing Corporation and Mishti Udyog, Bishwa Bangla Marketing Corporation and Ankur Hati Gem and Jewelry, and WSIDC and NSC for procurement of raw materials by WBSIDC in association with NIC. We also have the following investment announcements. Setting up of 7 textile units in Howrah, Hooghly, and North 24 Parganas and Nodia. Setting up of 3 industrial parks by Ramnivash Group at Jalpaiguri under the scheme for approved industrial parks, amounting to almost 1,300 crores of investment and potential of 15,500 employees. Expansion of 6 existing textile units, investment of 100 crores in 18 months in SAIP, and 2,000 crores in plastic-based units. I would like to thank, in particular, Mr. Rajesh Pandey, our Principal Secretary, Ms. Vandana Yadav, our Chief Secretary, and Dr. Mitra, without whose support, we wouldn't have been able to conduct these sessions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mehul. A huge amount of outcomes for people to think about. Now we turn to human capital. Without human capital, industry can't move forward. At yesterday, Honorable Chief Minister's speech, she defined it. I'm delighted to request Mr. Harshvardhan Neotia, Chairman Ambuja Neotia Group, and Co-Chairman of the Education sector with the government.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Dr. Mitra, dignitaries, and citizens of Kolkata. I have the privilege to co-chair the Education Subcommittee together with Mr. Vinod Kumar. And I would like to say that the education sector has been decisively taking a leadership role in both private and government to improve the quality of education and the availability of seats. While this has been a work in progress over the last decade or so, as you know that after Honorable Chief Minister took over, she opened up private universities and a special bill was enacted. And I think there are 10 or 11 private universities already operational in the state. And each of them have been steadily increasing their intake of students. So this is providing an alternative to the already very important role that the government universities were undertaking. The conference this morning was focused on 5 different issues. Transformative education, how we should look at the next generation of students, what are the factors that will determine employability, etc. Higher education, how to make it more student-centric. Research and innovation, a renewed focus in this area. Academia-industry synergy. As we all know that we need to now ensure that our students can seamlessly walk into industry and get a job without having to spend time in apprenticeship. But apprenticeship also is an important part of this. And internationalization as to how we can adapt ourselves to what's happening in the rest of the world. Our conference had a stellar panel. We had many Vice Chancellors, Professor Suranjan Das, Professor Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Dr. Shona Chatterjee, Professor Dhubajyoti Chattopadhyay, Dr. Asit Das from Reliance as an industry, kind of education industry synergy, Mr. Rakshit Kejriwal from the Philips, and Dr. Yasutomo Nasu from the Okayama University, Japan. I think the deliberations were extremely energetic and lots of ideas have come through. They are being compiled, and I think we'll present a report to the Honorable CM and the government very shortly on the deliberations. I would like to conclude by saying that the education sector is playing a decisive and pivotal role in the growth of economic opportunities in the state, not just within the sector, but because of the human capital that Dr. Mitra alluded to, which will be a major supporting role in the economic development of our state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a very useful thing, Harshbhai. Now we turn to a sector very much in line with what was discussed, infrastructure, without which industry will have difficulty flourishing. And Honorable Chief Minister yesterday gave you a lot of material on that. So I'd request Mr. Umesh Chaudhary, Vice Chairman and MD Titagarh Wagons, and Co-Chairman of the infrastructure sector, to give us a snapshot of what you discussed and what were your outcomes. Thank you, Umeshji.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Dr. Amit Mitra, Chief Secretary, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, friends. Firstly, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister for giving me the privilege of co-chairing this very important sector, the infrastructure sector, which has been very close to her heart, and we have all seen that in how the city and the state has transformed over the last 14 years. We have seen how the new flyovers, the brightly lit roads, the well-painted pavements and all of that. So that's all a part of the vision of the Honorable Chief Minister, including the Eco Park that we saw 2 days ago. Ma'am, this has been a wonderful BGBS where the infrastructure industry had the opportunity of interacting with the policymakers on one side and with the global leaders on the other side in the same sector. And a lot of development has taken place, a lot of sharing of ideas have taken place, and a lot of concrete proposals have emerged out of the interactions. This morning we had two specific sessions where I had the privilege of participating. One was for advanced manufacturing, which is, as I mentioned during the speech, a necessity. It's not advanced manufacturing, but it is the manufacturing necessary for today in order to prosper tomorrow. And the other one was on cost-effective logistics, particularly with respect to waterways and railways. And I personally have had the privilege of seeing how the Honorable Chief Minister in her previous avatar as the Railway Minister had focused on developing the railways in the country. A couple of reports have been finalized and handed over to the government, ma'am, about both these segments, which I'm sure over the next year we will work closely with the functionaries and take them towards implementation. Once again, thank you very much, ma'am, for giving the industry, on behalf of the industry and on my personal behalf, a platform of the nature of the Bengal Business Summit, which has not only encouraged the industry of the state like ourselves, but also
Singh Meena and Madam Smarki Mahapatro in shaping various initiatives, MOUs with extensive consultation and inputs from all relevant stakeholders, export promotion councils, industry associations and commodity boards. Madam, this morning we concluded an in-depth sectoral session on international trade, boosting growth through enabling exports, with industry leaders, eminent dignitaries and senior secretaries to identify strategies for driving growth, innovation and sustainability in various industries. It extensively covered the state's export potential by the state government to empower our exporters and enhance their competitiveness. A significant milestone of this session was the inauguration of the export clinic, which further reinforces government's commitment for supporting businesses by providing them with the necessary guidance and resources to thrive in international trade. 72 MOU signing between the Food Processing Department marked a crucial step towards strengthening the sector and enhancing its global reach. WBIDC has conducted detailed study of 11 districts to identify products which can be marketed globally. Detailed roadmap has been outlined with district administration to achieve the desired goal of inclusive growth. MSME department with DNB as knowledge partner has unveiled a report on a strategy for unlocking export potential for MSMEs in West Bengal. This report has made recommendations dwelling on the existing strength and have provided a structured roadmap to unlock Bengal's export potential. Madam, on a personal front, happy to share that we are running 8 units in West Bengal and expanding our operations, currently employing about 3,800 workers, and proud to say that till date we have not lost 1 hour due to strike or lockout due to your strict no-burn policy. Finally, Madam, as we move forward under your leadership, we will continue to collaborate, innovate, and capitalize on the opportunities ahead to achieve our target. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Budhia. Thank you for a very important statement indeed. Thank you. Now we turn to the sector that's been talked about, tourism. I would request Mr. Rudra Chatterjee, MD of Lakshmi Group and Chairman of OBT Private Limited, Co-Chair Tourism, to make his intervention. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chief Minister, members of the Government of West Bengal, colleagues in business. I think we should start with the results first. West Bengal has beaten in tourism the much more heralded states like Rajasthan, Kerala, Goa as a much bigger destination of tourism. Today, West Bengal is growing at more than 15% in tourism, and thanks to the great efforts from the department led by Tourism Secretary, Tourism Minister, that we have a serious plan of making West Bengal into, people from Bengal already love traveling. we'll make their wish come true so that West Bengal is #1 in tourism. We wanted to focus this year on one aspect of tourism, which is the meetings, conference, and exhibitions called MICE Tourism. On 4th, there was a fantastic meeting led by all the leaders from conference industry, from hotel industry, and today there were 7 MOUs signed, including one between us and Park Hotels to have a hotel in Siliguri. And there are 50 conferences scheduled, international conferences and domestic conferences in the coming year. In fact, tourism is today 13% of the state GDP, employing 6% of our people. And one thing we learned, Mr. Sanjeev Puri had mentioned on 4th, that for 1 lakh investment in tourism, you hire 72 people versus 40 people in industry. So almost double the number of employment is created by tourism. But one thing is very important to say, you must see what West Bengal is in tourism. So I request that I will speak through how tourism is developing in West Bengal. Any business depends on demand and supply. We have the supply, but see what the government is doing in developing demand. Firstly, even before the screen starts, you'll see where you are. 3,000 people in Bisho, today's conference center. Everyone who's come today has said that this is the greatest event, greatest conference center anywhere they've visited. So this is the conference center we have here. You've seen the exhibition spaces within this conference center. This is the Dhono Dhanna Auditorium. It's a fantastic event space in Alipur for 2,000 plus people. We've already seen it last year and it's almost 80% occupation. This is the Bisho Bangla Mela Prarangan, which is occupying 15,000 people, lots of global events. West Bengal and Kolkata has had many 5-star hotels, Taj, ITC, but also Siliguri. And thanks to the T-tourism policy, we have more than a dozen hotels coming up. Digha is a location where, a huge conference center has been built. This is it. If you haven't visited, you must go and see it. We had a familiarization trip from ICPV, which is the head of conference and investment and exhibition centers. They came to Kolkata. But we have an ecosystem beyond the hotels. Look at the highways that the Honorable Chief Minister announced yesterday, the freight highways, the railways, the 3 airports, 2 of which, Bagdogra and Dugrapur, becoming larger. And of course, the culture of West Bengal. The celebrations, the food, the Sundarbans, the wildlife, the rivers. This is spend an extra day, come for MICE and spend an extra day to feel part of the state, enjoy from the mountains to the seas and from the religions. We have a new Jagannath temple being inaugurated in the end of April, which hopefully after your business you can come enjoy. And it's across religions, from Christmas to the temples and the mosques. So the opportunities that are here, we are building, we are creating infrastructure. It's an astonishing opportunity. The government has set up incredible infrastructure in Kolkata. We are hoping for a new big conference center coming up in Siliguri. So, and today's luxury, whether it's textiles or Darjeeling tea, the meetings for global luxury brands will happen here in Kolkata. And that is where, tourism has a huge part to play. And that's why we say Bengal is the sweetest part of our country. Welcome, and please come for your MICE conferences, whether it's hosted by the state or hosted by us as businesses, and enjoy the food and the hospitality of our state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Rudra. It's a remarkable statement indeed in the pictures. Now we go to a very important sector, which is health, health education, and health infrastructure. May I request Mr. Rupak Bodua, who is the MD and CEO of Woodland Hospitals and co-chair of this sector, to make his quick, pointed statement today. Mr. Bodua.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Dr. Amit De, Honorable Chief Secretary, all the honorable ministers present on the dais, and all the delegates. At the very outset, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Chief Minister for giving me an opportunity to co-chair the healthcare sector, which is a very important sector in Bengal, along with Chairman Mr. N.S. Nigam, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare. Health always plays a major role. Just in a nutshell, we'd like to give you some background of the healthcare. That is, we have expanded in last 10-12 years. The healthcare sector has expanded from 57,000 beds, which is the most essential matrix of the healthcare, to 97,000 today, the number of beds. One of the major area of concern was the supply of once the number of beds increase, there is a demand from your manpower. That's the doctor and the nurses. 97,000 beds to cater. This is from 10 medical colleges. We have increased to 30 medical colleges and numerous number of nursing colleges. Earlier, the health sector, we used to depend on private sector particularly, we used to depend on nursing. Almost 68% of the nursing used to come from outside of Bengal, Jharkhand, South India, all those places, Bhubaneswar and the Northeast. Now, the matrix is the reverse. It's almost 72% of the nursing supply we are getting from Bengal only, rest we are taking from the other places. So it's almost we are self-sufficient right now. This year, our healthcare sector, our theme was multilateral stakeholder partnership in making accessible, affordable, and inclusive healthcare. One of our major advantage is that so far government of West Bengal is concerned, they have taken up your major part is the affordable and accessible healthcare. The Swasthya Sathi, one of the best universal healthcare that has been promoted by the government. 2.5 crore of population actually got the benefit of this your Swasthya Sathi, and that has become the healthcare sector is affordable to each and every one. Now this year, our performance, today in the morning we had a very good sectoral session, healthcare sectoral session, and chaired by Srimati Chandrima Bhattacharya, Honorable Minister of State for Health. And just to let you know, this is the outcome of this year's our sectoral session. It is 9,368 crore has been investment proposal we have received. 23 LOI we have handed over. And the expected is that the 20,000 additional employment opportunity will be there in terms of healthcare. So healthcare is going particularly in the sector where it's an ecosystem that we have created. Even your surgical medtech also, it's growing like anything in Bengal. It is that additional 1,000 crore has been invested for the local manufacturing of surgical instruments and the equipment, which is the most important part for any healthcare sector to grow. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bodua. You've given the employment, you've given the investment potential. Thank you so much for a very...
And so many things. So it's a great destination for filmmakers. Also, we discussed about co-production. Some of the speakers had given a fantastic blueprint for future co-production with our industry and industries in Europe. So it's very, very interesting discussion. And also we had discussion on the cultural issues like our literary tradition, musical tradition, and so many other things. Because, you know, culture is a huge thing. And I know this is a favorite subject of our Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee. And what we do, we have to create a synthesis. For certain things, it's very difficult. Of course, we get a lot of investment on OTT platform for films from other sectors, but there is something, which has a dichotomy, which is a heritage that one has to take care. It's very, very difficult how we can preserve living tradition. I'm really grateful to our Chief Minister that Government of West Bengal is doing round-the-year work to preserve our living tradition. That's great and fantastic. And we have to bring everything, actually, as a matter of fact, synthesis is our tradition. You remember our Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee in her inaugural speech had summarized this synthesis of art and commerce, which is really laudable. Let me conclude my presentation with the precious lines from a great artist and teacher, K.G. Subramaniam. Quote, "I dream of waking up one morning to find this country completely purged of its petty conflicts, a country where all of us, young and old, will be working together to build an enlightened, compassionate and creative society that the world will marvel at." Thank you so much and congratulations for this wonderful summit.
Thank you very much, Gautam Babu. If you had the... Right. Well, it's very interesting that his films have been shown all over the world. And I can never forget his film in Rome with Yash Chopra and others sitting there. Houseful. What an amazing director you are, sir. Thank you very much indeed. May I now hand over the proceedings to Vandana Yadav, IAS, who's the Managing Director of WBIDC and Principal Secretary Industry. Vandana.
Thank you, sir. So for the list of MOUs to be exchanged, I will start with calling upon Ms. Angela Lusigi, Resident Representative UNDP, and Shri Prabhat Kumar Mishra, Additional Chief Secretary Finance Department, to come up and exchange the Memorandum of Understanding for cooperation in the areas of financing for development, including sustainable development goals, climate finance, monitoring of development indicators, health system strengthening, climate resilient agriculture, sustainable livelihoods, and disaster management. So. I next call upon Shri A.K. Saxena, Director General, the Energy and Resource Institute, TERI, and Shri Barun Kumar Ray, Additional Chief Secretary, Non-Conventional Renewable Energy Sources Department, to come up and exchange the MOU for strategic achievement of common goals in the areas of renewable energy, grid integration studies, energy storage, electrical vehicle charging infrastructure. I next call on Shri Chandar Manshar Mani, Managing Director, Alpcor Network Travel and Conferences Management Company, and Ms. Nandini Chakravarti, Principal Secretary, Tourism Department, to come up and exchange the MOU for association to boost MICE tourism and streamline event management and strategic venue partnerships. Next, I invite Shri Sharad Mahendra, Joint MD and CEO, JSW Energy Limited, and Shri Shantanu Basu, Principal Secretary, Power Department, to come up and for handing over of the letter of award for construction of 1600 megawatt greenfield thermal power project and supply of power by West Bengal State Electricity Distribution Company Limited under the Power Department. I next call upon Shri Rudra Chatterjee, Chairman of Furniture Committee, FICCI, Shri Venkatraman Gorti, Chairman of Furniture and Fitting Skill Council, and Shri Anup Agarwal, Additional Chief Secretary, Technical Education, Training and Skill Development Department, to exchange the MOU for working together to promote skill development in furniture and fitting sector and strengthen the existing ecosystem of quality vocational education, especially in the furniture sector in the state. Next, I request Shri Arnab Basu, President of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Shri Najib Arif, Vice President of Corporate Communication ITC Limited, Shri Nandini Chakravarti, Principal Secretary Tourism Department, to exchange the MOU for enhancement of brand building, launching Kolkata focused digital platform, and explore urban renewal projects. Next up, we have Ms. Alison Barrett, Director, British Council India, and Minister, Education and Cultural Affairs, British High Commission. Shri Binod Kumar, Principal Secretary, Higher Education Department. They will come up and exchange the MOU to stimulate and facilitate development of collaborative and mutually beneficial programs between UK and Government of West Bengal in the areas of education, research, capacity building, culture, creativity, and ideas in English language learning. Next, we have Shri Raj Singh, Director, Heritage Tourism, Heritage River Journeys Private Limited, Antara Cruises, and Shri Soumitra Mohan, Secretary, Transport Department, who will exchange the MOU for building new ships in Kolkata, promote cruise tourism in sustainable tourism, and establishing new jetties and modernizing existing jetties in and around Kolkata. Next, I call on Shri Sanjay Dhingra, Country Director, Education, Microsoft Corporation India Limited, and Shri Binod Kumar, Principal Secretary, Higher Education Department, to come up and exchange the MOU for a Center of Excellence in Artificial Intelligence Development, developing learning management systems, and upskilling students and faculty for future-ready careers. I now request Ms. Chand Majumdar, Head Export Marketing and Enablement